Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all.
Best ice cream topping.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Best ice cream topping.
That was a fantastic Tom Carvel impression.
That is what he sounds like. I just listened to him for a second.
Yeah.
He's like, come on down to Carvel. This is in the 70s, by the way. He lived beyond that. It sounds like you're expecting to hear
It sounds like he's 1,000 years old.
How about that? All ice cream toppings you want.
Oh gosh, he's fading. He's fading like that picture from Back to the Future.
Oh, he just threw the cape off. He's back.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's what it was. He was wearing the invisible cloak.
And just in time for St. Patrick's Day, it's Cookie Opus.
What is Cookie Opus? They would just make it an Irish version?
Yeah, they give him a hat.
Ooh.
I hope this is all in the episode.
I do too. Hello, everybody. What's up, people of the world?
Hi.
Have we been doing this? We said we were going to start saying, I'm Mark.
I'm Hal. No, we stopped.
I
tried to do
that.
it.
Yeah.
There's just no formal, we're a garage band, okay? We're not
Sure.
out there in the stadium. We're not some polished act where the drummer's suspended from the air and spinning around. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Motley Crue.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
not
I was just in Mexico working a gig and saw the band Train from up front, who, by the way, is a delightful pop rock band to see live.
Very talented.
If Maroon 5 is your kind of rock and roll show that you like to see, Train has a very similar, like, super poppy early aughts vibe. But one thing I loved about Train, first of all, they put on a great show. But second of all, they were one of few bands that I've seen of late that has the band's name on the front of the bass drum, which don't see often enough anymore. And I love that. I feel like that was, when I was a kid, I wanted to be in a band just so that I could have like the drum with, I mean, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem have it. Maybe that's where I remember it from. So in my brain, all bands have it. The Beatles had it.
Famously.
The Who had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really in a time where it's like the clear front bass drum.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the clear front bass drum.
What if I showed up late and I don't know any of your music, but I want to know where to find it?
Yeah.
It's not like in between every song, Pat Monahan was like, hey, we're Trained, by the way. Our next song, you know what
also,
I mean?
Pat Monahan he is maybe 5'1".
Yeah, but good looking.
Teeny tiny little man. Good looking guy. Throws a
Big
great
voice.
show. Yeah.
And did they open with Hey Soul Sister? Was it in the middle? Was it at the end?
Hey Soul Sister was medium late in the set.
Okay.
I forgot what they opened with. He does this thing though that I thought was great where people would just throw their phones up on the stage and he would take a selfie with their phone. People like in the front, they would toss their phone up to him, not from the back of the room. They're throwing it up, but people would toss their phone up to him. He'd grab it, take a selfie and toss it back to them, which I think is great to have a from the stage selfie from Train. Anyway, it was a great show.
By the way, they open with Meet Virginia. That I think is my favorite Train song.
They did play Meet Virginia. And one thing that they did that I thought was great is because Meet Virginia has a very similar vibe to it as what's the Steve Miller Band song called? The Joker.
The Joker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sort of like playing around that like playful little guitar.
So it's got that kind of vibe to it. So they just threw a verse of that into the middle of Meet Virginia because they're like, yeah, we know. It sounds like this. They're really fun. They threw a really fun show.
By the way, Meet Virginia is also the name of Pat Monahan's steakhouse. You can visit it in Mexico. You opened it. It was the grand opening. It happened to be the same weekend. So it was like kismet that he would be called to do this.
Sure. And they have a big barrel of extra long peanuts that you throw the shells on the floor at this particular steakhouse.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the sauces all come in drops of Jupiter. Thank you. We did it all.
Boo. They also threw at one point, I don't know whose job it was to blow all these up backstage, but at one point, I think it was Drops of Jupiter. They just threw, or maybe it was one of their songs that wasn't as well known. They were just like, hey, we're a rock band that plays big stadiums. Here's 1,000,000 beach balls. And so while they're playing now, everybody's tossing around a million beach balls. Like it was just there's a really fun show. Highly recommend those guys. And they are all the kindest of dudes. And dig this. This was a great moment. So we found this out from some other people who were staying at the same place as us. There was a backup singer for a band that was playing the night before who was crazy talented and 22 in from Nashville, had been flown out for the event, just up and coming. And she met the guys from Train and they were like, well, we have a song that's a duet. Why don't we add that song to our set list and you can come up and sing it with us? So she went up and sang it with them and she was great. And I hope it launches her career.
That's amazing.
It was very cool. Like I cannot say enough nice things about these dudes.
All right.
But we're not here to talk about the band Train. We're here to talk about ice cream toppings, Hal.
Yeah, it's summertime.
Yeah.
Ice cream is easy to get because it's so hot out. A lot more ice cream places are open and available for you to visit. And everybody likes a different topping on their ice cream.
Check your notes. Who suggested this, by the way?
Let me look real quick. Oh, yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
It came from inside the damn house.
The call is coming from inside the house. Have you had some ice cream this summer yet, Hal?
Please. Mark, I'm counting my calories. Sometimes
I know
the count is to set aside enough to have ice cream later. In fact, recently, this is on the weekend, I went to get a brownie sundae. I knew I had enough. I budgeted enough for a brownie sundae. So I went to get it at a local ice creamery, very good ice creamery. And I very, very specifically said, I need this to go because I'm not going to sit here and eat it. I'm not going to go outside in the heat and eat it. I'm going to go home. I'm going to sit in my recliner. I'm going to watch TV and I'm going to eat the brownie sundae. And of all of the containers that you could put something in that would make it difficult to drive home, even if it's a 3-minute drive, what do you think it would be?
A plate.
Correct.
They put it on. Wait, they gave
a brownie sundae on a clear plastic plate, and I drove it home like I was the waiter in Beverly Hills Cop that distracts the police officers. And you know what? You know how many drops of that
Jupiter
sundae, of that many drops of Jupiter were spilled?
How many?
It
well done, Loveland.
As it was melting, I'm watching it melt going, oh, if I lose a drop of this, I will sue the ice cream place. For everything all the penny candies in those containers are mine now. Every flavor of Jelly Belly that you spent all that time sorting into tubes, mine.
You think they really sorted all those Jelly Bellies into tubes, or do you think that as an establishment that sells them, they somehow got them wholesale already separated?
I know that's probably what happened, but I like to believe that they get a big sack of Jelly Bellies that they put into a big machine. And then it's and it gets sorted.
Yeah.
And then it winds up. You can watch the tube be like as they fill up with the different flavors of jelly bean. That's
the full Wonka.
Yes. I watch a lot of Unwrapped, to be fair.
Oh, I do love Unwrapped.
The best.
Yeah.
The great Mark Summers.
I love a cooking show. It's like the fact that it's on the Food Network and it's like, hey, all day it's cooking shows of here's how to make this thing at home. And then it's, here's how to make Twinkies. First, open a factory. Second, buy cellophane in bulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think at this age that either of us would be tired of looking at different forms of slurry, but it doesn't age at all. It just stays forever young. Did they do that? I know it's not their song.
Forever young. No, but I did hear a Forever Young-esque song that made me cry in the car yesterday.
What song?
Stay Gold from the new Outsiders musical.
From the outside, yeah. Oh, boy.
Man, that song just ripped me apart in the car. Oh, really? Can't wait to hear the whole
it's a very sad
album.
Scene in the movie.
Sure.
In the book. I would assume. I haven't read S.E. Hinton's original book, but
16 years old when she wrote that. You believe that?
Isn't that incredible?
Good on her, man.
Yeah. Well done.
I was not doing anything remotely important when I was 16.
Me neither. I was wearing a Billy Joel t-shirt so much it was getting worn out almost immediately. Cause even then I had a very short rotation of shirts that I liked. That Bill the Cat, like very few made it on.
What's the fit today, Hal?
What's the fit? We got the vet t-shirt on. We got some nice
Veteran
Old Navy
Stadium
shorts.
Right on.
Cause now what I wear during the day, this will become the running shirt tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's smart.
This is a good running shirt. And then I just Sometimes last night I slept in the running shirt. So all I had to do was put on shorts and socks.
Ooh.
I was cold. I was a little cold. So I put the shirt.
Sometimes I sleep in my clothes too. I don't mean to, but I wake up and I go, how'd I get here?
I know. I've seen it. Face down, head to the side. Drunk history. I was living drunk present.
Oh man.
About it. So ice cream toppings, like I was saying, there are standards. Now there are a crazy number of selections from cereals to broken up bits of candy bars. And I think there may be whole swaths of those that they don't need like as much time. I think there are a few that are really good. So. But you mentioned before we started, and I'm fascinated. You said you think that the combination of toppings that you will put on ice cream would be, I might consider it bizarre.
Not necessarily bizarre. There's one that I think you will find bizarre.
Okay. A tennis ball?
A tennis ball. I just pour loose tennis balls on top of my ice cream. So the neighborhood dogs get a couple of good nose nudges in there.
That's right. You share all your ice cream with dogs. I forgot.
I do. First of all, we recently did our soft serve versus hard scooped ice cream.
Yeah.
And I think that some toppings are better on hard scooped ice cream and some toppings are better on soft serve. I generally am a soft serve person.
Okay.
I'll wind up going to, but it's usually not ice cream for me. It's usually yogurt because there's a yogurt land at work and a Menchie's on the way home. And no, I've not done the double, but I might.
Why not?
Right? I think,
make them kiss.
Some of the sauce toppings are better on hard scooped ice cream and some of the other like harder toppings are better on soft serve. So I'll give you one sauce topping that I prefer that is very potentially considered odd. And then one topping that usually goes on soft serve. Two, actually. The soft serve one for me, it's my go-to every time. I always get a tiny little bit of these three. I don't want to go overboard.
Okay.
But and these are I've got these divided into categories. These will be coming out of of course I do. These will be coming out of the bits category. But in the bits category, it's baked, or in the case of one, unbaked goods is a topping that I love. Specifically, little brownie bits, little cheesecake bites, those tiny little cheesecake bites, and cookie dough.
Yep.
Those are some of my favorites. Those are usually on soft serve, usually yogurt. And we can get to talking more in depth about those when we really dive in. But the odd one that I love on hard scooped vanilla ice cream is a flavored olive oil.
Oh, that's
you ever had olive oil on ice cream?
I wouldn't. If somebody put olive oil on my ice cream, I would assume there had been a mistake. But I recognize the fact that is a gourmet. Yeah. That is a gourmet move.
I love lemon olive oil, like lemon infused olive oil on top of ice cream is
but a
little scoop. Yeah, just a tiny little drizzle on a small scoop of ice cream is a perfect tiny little dessert for me. And I love that. But if I'm in the mood for destruction, I'm going nuts. There's a lot of toppings. What's your go-to?
I like my order now at Handel's Ice Cream, which is very good ice cream, is I like
the Messiah sprinkles. Or like the thing that you grab onto?
That's the music. I hold on to a Handel as I hear Handel's Messiah as I eat the ice cream.
Gotcha.
It's so good. So yes is the answer.
Cool.
I like just rainbow sprinkles. I've never had rainbow sprinkles that I didn't think were good. It's very standard, very good. Chocolate as well. We call them Jimmy's in Philly. Chocolate Jimmy's, rainbow Jimmy's.
Named, of course, because you knew I was going to bring some history into this. Yes. Named after Jimmy Bartholomew in 1930 from Just Born Candy in Brooklyn, New York. The name spread throughout New England.
Yes. And
where Jimmy came from.
So good. It's great on ice cream. Although they have to do the thing where like they hold it over like a bin and then they're scooping it on, as opposed to with a soft serve, you lay the cone down like the baby Jesus and roll it over with a spoon. And the spoon's also like coating it at the same time. But also like it's amazing that bin isn't more of a mess because the ice cream might melt a little bit. But but it's simply picking up the sprinkles
it's a dredge.
And moving to your mouth.
Yeah.
So I like those. I also am a fan of whipped cream. So standard.
Sure.
I like a chocolate syrup, warm or cold. I do not like Magic Shell.
Oh, I'm a Magic Shell fan. Big Magic Shell fan.
Did you have a lot of Dairy Queen growing up where you'd have the dipped cone?
No, we actually would buy Magic Shell growing up.
Sure.
But you can make Magic Shell at home. Do you know this?
No.
Coconut oil or any oil. Coconut oil is good for it. It's any oil that's solid at room temperature.
Okay.
So you warm it up a little bit to make it liquid, and then you pour it over your ice cream, and it goes back to cold and or room temperature, and that solidifies the whole thing.
Did not know
that. That's the secret. That's the magic behind Magic Shell. Yeah, I like Magic Shell. You know what I'm not huge on? Hot fudge.
Oh, too thick?
Just becomes clumpy. Yeah. It melts the ice cream.
Yeah.
And clumps into a puddle of goo at the bottom. I love Hershey syrup on it.
Hershey syrup is great. Hershey syrup is a very inobtrusive topping. Mm-hmm. I do like hot fudge, but part of that is because I like melted ice cream. And I am not, I know I don't stand 100% alone, but I stand a pretty fair amount alone. I remember being at Dodger Stadium at the club. And my cousin was there. It was like a friend of my cousin's had gotten us tickets, and we just stayed up in that restaurant the whole time. The one up top, not the one. Yeah.
Sure. So, I went in there with David Berman, famously of our best ice cream flavor episode.
Yes.
A connoisseur of both the Dodgers and ice cream.
Went there with Berman as well another time, but this time we got the brownie sundae.
Yeah.
Which is like big wedges of brownie.
It's a beast.
All this ice cream. And it starts melting. And soon it's just me and my cousin's friend's son who are eating it. And it's turned into soup. And my cousin is so disgusted by it. He's just like, "Are you going to eat it? You going to eat it's pretty soup. You're going to eat the soup? You're going to eat this pretty soupy, pretty gross."
Yeah.
I would have, if I could have like a cartoon folded the plate in half and funneled it directly into my mouth, I would have been perfectly happy. I like all those flavors together. It's still great.
You say that you stand alone.
Yes.
You do not stand alone, my friend. This might be why we have this podcast. When I was a kid, I would take vanilla ice cream and I would pour Hershey syrup on it. This was at home. I would take vanilla ice cream, pour Hershey syrup on it, and then I would whip it like I was a chef.
Oh.
So that it would become the consistency of soft serve. I basically turned a scoop of hard vanilla ice cream and chocolate syrup into a Wendy's Frosty consistency.
Oh man. You want to take that to another level?
Yeah, please.
Take some like Snyder's of Hanover you can either take the sourdough nuggets and just drop them in there, or you can take the thin traditional pretzel shape, crush them up, put it on top. Or if you have a proper soft pretzel, you can use it like a little scoop, like an edible spoon.
Ooh, all right.
And it's because it gives you a little saltiness because that's a very sweet, that is a pro move. Love that.
Hal, is the proper soft pretzel shape spoon?
Yes, because it's built to be a spoon. There are two spoons. There are 4 spoons. You take the 2. I mean, you don't.
I ain't sharing this. No, I need 1 spoon. I'm not sharing this. Don't go to a restaurant with me and say you order dessert and I'll order a spoon. Get out of here.
And don't
get your spoon out of here.
Yeah. Don't. We're not doing that. Yeah, you eat the knot and then you have 2 U's, which you can break in half, and then you got 4 J's. They're all spoons.
I don't hate this. All right. So let's dive into some of these toppings. I have divided this up into, I think there are 4 major categories.
Gotcha.
One of them, none of them are going to win.
Oh, but is that cereal?
No, cereal is not its own category.
Okay.
Cereal is within another category.
I see.
Maybe one of them will win out of this. We'll see. There are, and you can tell me which category you'd like to dive into first. The categories are sauces, etc. I added etc. because I included peanut butter, Nutella, and whipped cream in that.
Gotcha.
Fruit, bits, and candy. So those are the 4 categories. Bits is kind of a catch-all with lots of different stuff in it. You want to talk about fruit because none of them are going to win?
Yeah, that was exactly where I was going to start. There are only 3 I can think of. Well, there are 4. There are 4 that are like the holy quadrilogy of fruit.
What's the holy quadrilogy of ice cream fruit?
Pineapple.
Oh, I didn't even have pineapple on my
pineapple
list.
syrup, strawberry and strawberry syrup, banana as a base, and sometimes on top.
Born in Pennsylvania.
Of course.
The banana split.
Of course. Then the last one, of course, is the cherry on top.
The cherry on top, sure. I've also got on the list, I've got mango. Yeah. Super fine diced mango. Very good. Tasty. It's not the best. None of these are the best.
Yogurt thing.
A lot of these feel, it's a soft serve thing, I think.
Yeah.
And coconut flakes.
Oh, yeah. I don't hate coconut.
I don't hate coconut flakes on it either. I've got assorted berries, mango, banana, coconut, cherries, pineapple, and also dried fruit I've seen frequently on ice cream.
Yeah.
Look, man, none of these are going to win.
No, not a chance.
Do we have an honorable mention out of here? Because I'll throw an honorable mention in there that is specific to one of these, but not what you'd think it is. It is not, for me, the maraschino cherry. If you're going to top your ice cream, up your game and get a Luxardo cherry. Those are the cherries in the bottom of Manhattan, the darker cherries in the darker syrup. You'll frequently see them in like a white and blue clay pot.
Okay.
Is how they're sold in a lot of stores.
Were they discovered with the Dead Sea Scrolls? Is that why?
Yes, they were discovered with the Dead Sea Scrolls. What they will do is they will translate your ice cream into bougie. I've already thrown out some bougie toppings, I realize, with the olive oil and all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even think we need to pull a fruit out of this.
No, I would give honorable mention, split it between the banana, the cherry, and the strawberry. I think pineapple is so acidic. And I understand why that goes well with something creamy, but it just, when I see, this is half my podcast, and when I see pineapple on ice cream, I feel like somebody has made a mistake.
Yeah. That's funny. I mean, I didn't even have it on my list.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Though there's a certain type of strawberry that I like, which is fresh strawberries, delicious.
On yogurt.
Yeah. Some of these are more for, I think the fruit is more for, look, I'm trying to be healthy, so I'm having yogurt instead of ice cream and fresh fruit instead of what I probably really want.
Yeah. We can build a Yogurt Land order in a completely separate episode.
Yeah, that's true.
We're talking ice cream here.
We're talking ice cream. Though we are talking soft serve, and we are sometimes. And on soft serve, there is that strawberries in the syrup. You know what I mean? Like the real thick strawberry syrup. I like that stuff. But again, I don't think it's going to win.
It's fine. It's like a little bit is fine. I like strawberry ice cream a lot. So I would rather have it inside there.
Yeah.
The syrup is the ice cream. The ice cream is the syrup.
The fruit is coming from inside the syrup.
Exactly. Is that Keanu Reeves?
Hey, whoa. I know Kung Fu and ice cream toppings.
I know Kung Scoop.
Boo.
I'm gonna leave.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're really going to dive into these other three and find out what our ultimate topper is.
Sweet.
It will be. Or will it? We'll be right back.
My name is Jordan Crucchiola, and I love movies. But you know what I might love even more? Talking about movies. And the directors, actors, and writers that join me every week on Feeling Seen love to talk about movies too. Like our recent co-host, the writer and director, Justin Simeon.
And I love the premise of your show, Feeling Seen. I think that's kind of always my goal when I'm making something. Nothing touches my heart more than when someone comes out of my movie and says, oh my God, I never thought I would see myself.
So hang out with us and geek out about watching movies, making movies, and the ways the movies we love speak to us directly. You might just start asking folks around you, hey, what movie character made you feel seen? We're doing it every week at MaximumFun.org.
The Greatest Generation has been going on for more than 8 years, and while it's the world's most beloved Star Trek podcast, we know it can be a little impenetrable.
If you've been Greatest Gen curious but have never taken the leap, you could be forgiven for being a little bit intimidated.
We recommend exploring your Greatest Gen curiosity in a safe, fun environment with partners you can trust. Right now is one of the best times ever to become a new listener.
That's because we just started covering a new series, Star Trek Enterprise, one of the weirdest editions of Star Trek ever released.
This is your chance to ease into the Greatest Generation lifestyle.
The Greatest Generation, now covering Star Trek Enterprise, the one with Scott Bakula, every Monday on MaximumFun.org or in your podcast app.
All right, we're back. What do you want to jump into next, Hal? Sauces, candy, or bits?
Let's go to sauces, please.
All right, here's the sauces that I have on my list, and tell me if I've missed any.
All right.
Sauces, etc., like I said, whipped cream.
Yeah, my gift shop.
Peanut butter, Nutella. Chocolate syrup, strawberry syrup, butterscotch syrup, magic shell, caramel syrup, marshmallow fluff, and then the aforementioned peanut butter, but in sauce form. Do you have any of these that jump out to you as your favorites, or as high on the list?
Wait, you mentioned whipped cream, yeah?
I did mention whipped cream.
Okay.
Yeah. If I didn't, I consider it.
When I went to get my sundae on a plate, they said, I'm so sorry, we're out of whipped cream. I was devastated because that is the part I was really looking forward to.
Sure.
You get whipped cream with ice cream and whipped cream with the syrup on it, and then the toppings in it. It's just, that's a beautiful thing. I love it. Like we generally have some Ready Whip in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that many calories. You can mix it with a lot of stuff, but they didn't have it. I said, oh, okay. Can I get marshmallow on it instead? Would that be all right to substitute that? Thinking it would be marshmallow fluff.
Sure.
This person put a bunch of mini marshmallows on top. Sprinkled them on top. It's another thing to fall away. And I don't hate a mini marshmallow. I like a mini marshmallow.
But mini marshmallows get hard. They turn into Lucky Charms marshmallows when they're on top of ice cream.
Marbits.
Yeah, Marbits. Hal, you mentioned this earlier about pineapple. You said, this is half my show, and when I see a pineapple on ice cream, I think it's a mistake.
Yes.
I have to eliminate whipped cream.
Why?
Because I do not like whipped cream on ice cream. It feels like, hey, here's a scoop of ice cream. Would you like something on top of your ice cream that's kind of like ice cream, but just worse?
Oh, man. I got to tell you, Mark.
Yeah.
Try your Hershey syrup and your Cocoa Whip, but add a little bit of Ready Whip to it and try. Just see what it adds to the texture.
Maybe. I'll see. The thing is, that's the thing for me. It's the texture. It feels like a mismatch. I've already got a creamy texture, and I prefer the creamy texture of the ice cream to the creamy texture of a whipped cream. Like if I ever get a coffee drink that would normally have that dome lid on top, I'm like, no whip, don't even bother with the dome. I don't need it. I don't like it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's the treat at the end for me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Though weirdly, I do like Cool Whip because I grew up
freeze
eating
it and then it's a little harder.
It's a little harder. Yeah, it's a little more stiff. It's got a little more heft to it.
Oh, boo. That's doubly disappointing. I get it. I grew up in a Cool Whip household too. Ready Whip was the less healthy. Like Cool Whip somehow you can talk yourself into. It's healthy. Oh, I love whipped cream. I'm sad to see it go.
Yeah.
Of these, I mean, they're all fine in their own way. I don't like Magic Shell because it creates more work.
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
Why not just break up a chocolate bar and put it on there? And I've found by and large the quality of Magic Shell is just not, like, the chocolate is not as good.
Sure.
It's more like the experience of I can bite into it.
Mm-hmm.
I got this cone. I can bite into the cone.
It's the magic trick of it all.
Yes.
I would argue that off of this list, not only because it is ubiquitous, it is what I preferred as a kid. It takes me back to my childhood, but also because it was the first topping in 1881 in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, when someone came in and said, pour chocolate syrup on top of my ice cream. The proprietor of the shop said, I don't think that will be good. And then, can you believe that? They thought, no way that this is going to taste good. It was the OG. So I think I got to give it to chocolate syrup coming out of the sauces category.
I do love chocolate syrup. I would give it to chocolate syrup as well. It's really good. It's good heated up. It's good room temperature. It's just, it always pluses. And it's especially like if you get that Hershey's, there's something about that flavor. I know by and large our chocolate is trash compared to European chocolate and chocolate almost anywhere else in the world. But that syrup on ice cream, there is something magical to that. There's some alchemy there.
It really is. Yeah. Specifically Hershey's chocolate syrup. Look at us. We're staying in Pennsylvania. Let's jump on to, you want to go to bits or candy?
Go to candy.
All right, let's go to candy. Here's what I have in candy. I have gummy candy, chocolate bars, assorted chocolate bars. I'm talking Snickers, Kit Kat, any of them.
Okay.
Peanut butter cups and M&M's / Reese's Pieces.
Of all of those, I think a Heath Bar Crunch is a really nice topping.
I love a Heath bar because that English toffee elevates whatever ice cream you're eating. It doesn't work with every flavor. You got to be specific. You're not going to do a strawberry with a Heath Bar Crunch.
Yeah. I think the majority of candy is best served within the ice cream than on top of it. Like, I would rather go to a Cold Stone and get the mint or whatever. I like mint and peanut M&Ms. And I say, give me plenty of peanut M&Ms and you don't have to chop them up. Just do it there. Cause then I get the joy of eating a frozen peanut M&M.
Is it not too much work? Cause that's sort of my thing with putting M&Ms in it. Anything like, definitely it's not gummies. Any gummy candy becomes dots once it goes inside ice cream. Inevitably hard.
Yeah. And really it's made for something like gummy worms aren't made to go on candy.
No, gummy worms are made to go in the cake that my dad got for his 40th birthday that looked like a big pile of poop with gummy worms coming out of it. And, as the topper, a little wad of toilet paper with chocolate frosting on it set on top of the cake. Yeah. This was the cake my dad wanted for his 40th.
Amazing.
I don't know if it's the one he wanted, but it's the one that he got. It wasn't the hero that he wanted. It was the hero that he needed.
That's right. That's the cake that he
and the hero he deserved. Here's the thing about peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
I love chopped up Reese's peanut butter cups.
Sure. Me too.
I wonder, though, if they are punching above their weight when they are used as a topping. You are not the star. The ice cream is the star. Though sometimes I do want my toppings to be the star. Like I said, I put brownie bites and mini cheesecakes and cookie dough on top of it. So I don't mind when the topping is the star and the ice cream is almost secondary, if not on par. Is a Reese's peanut butter cup, does it become all about the Reese's peanut butter cup? Because I would argue that that's the best choice out of this if we're okay with the topping being the star.
My issue with most of these candies, they're better in the ice cream than out of it. Like, even if you're soft serve, I would rather have it Blizzard style with peanut butter cup mixed all the way through, because what will happen when you put those chunks on top of ice cream or a cup or cone?
Oh, I know the answer to this. I will eat them first.
You will eat them first, but also they will probably fall off and you will wind up just eating them anyway. Like, you either have to eat them out of speed so that they don't disappear and like melt off, or they're just falling to the bottom anyway. So you might as well just scoop them out and enjoy it. You have to like start composing your own bite. I'll take a little bit of the ice cream. I'll get the topping.
Yeah.
And the only one that I don't like inside of an ice cream as much as on top of it is oddly Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. Because they get too hard?
No, well, very thin candy shell. It's not that they get too hard. They have such a thin candy shell they're easy to bite through. And for some reason, I like them better outside than in. I like M&Ms in a candy. I mean, I like M&Ms. If you put it on a sundae, I'm not going to say no.
Sure, you're going to get that color swirl.
Many a time have I filled a small mixing bowl with Breyers mint chocolate chip ice cream and then poured a bunch of peanut M&Ms on it, and then syrup, and then whipped cream, because I enjoy whipped cream. Your results may differ, and had a grand old time, but it's not proportional. You're hunting. You don't want to have to hunt. You want to be able to get a little bit of it every time until it's gone. And you want it to be in concert.
I get that. I would agree with that.
That's why I would probably pick the Heath Bar Crunch or Nestle Crunch. Like, anything in a crunch, like in very small shards, is going to stay better.
Something that can be broken up into the smallest possible pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like the elevation that a Heath gives.
Yeah.
That's interesting. This feels like a dark horse coming out of here. I didn't expect the Heath Bar specifically. I would also throw a Kit Kat out there because of the crispy wafer inside. That can crumble up real nicely on top of ice cream.
That's real nice. I like Kit Kat ice cream.
It might be the Heath Bar comes out on top in this category.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to beat the other one that's in the finals already, but we'll find out. Let's jump to Bits. And Bits is the most varied. And within Bits, there are some that, much like in candy, where gummy or chocolate bars were their own separate sort of categories, Bits has some subcategories in it. If we need to do some delineating, we can do some delineating. But here is what I have under Bits. I've got sprinkles, chocolate chips, nuts, Oreo cookies, cereal, granola, cookie dough, brownie, cheesecake, baked goods, cone bits, and bits of other cookies.
Sure.
And then the savories, chips, pretzels, and as we added seconds before we started talking, bacon bits.
Yeah.
But that was really more of a joke.
Would never. We won't let the internet win this one.
I think the winner is in here.
I think so too.
And I think I know who the winner is in here. But let's talk about a few of these. What jumps out at you?
Cereal's fun. I feel like cereal, I feel like Pinkberry, I know it was done before Pinkberry, but Pinkberry really made like Captain Crunch as a topping. Fruity Pebbles are a topping. Now you can get almost just like dump the whole cereal aisle on your ice cream if you want. But it to me is not like most people, they want their cereal to be crunchy and crisp. You're putting it in frozen milk that will very soon become not frozen milk or frozen cream. And it's going to sog up. And if you're okay with that, great. I think breakfast cereal is so good on its own.
Yeah.
Like I think the best topping is going to be one that you might not eat on its own.
Interesting. Yeah.
Its perfect job is to be a topping on something else. And that would eliminate chips and pretzels. I love pretzels on ice cream. Yeah. I like them in ice cream. I don't hate a potato chip in it. Something savory in there, savory and sweet together is great, but I'm not enough of a fan of those that I think the winner is one of those. Do you agree?
I would agree with that. Yeah. I think high on the list, the first three that I thought of were sprinkles, chocolate chips, and nuts. Chocolate chips, though, have the same problem that some of the candies have, where they get hard. You know what I mean?
And also, aren't there a bunch of ice creams that have chocolate chips in them?
In the ice cream already, yeah.
Like we've already figured out how to get it in there, so we don't need to just throw it on top.
I do think the best use of a chocolate chip is the mini chocolate chip dredged on the outside of a cookie sandwich.
100%.
Yeah. What about nuts? Let's talk about nuts. Something great about the saltiness and the non-sweetness of chopped nuts on ice cream that I really like.
They're okay. I think that for some reason they just don't do it for me. Like I'd just as soon not have it, unless what I have done is had chocolate ice cream and I've taken like those unsalted Virginia peanuts that you get at like
at Meat Virginia,
Joe's or anywhere. Yeah.
Out of the big barrel.
Virginia. Yeah. They have when you're waiting because they don't have bread.
Yeah.
I'll put those in ice cream and I just have chocolate ice cream with peanuts in it. Like I put it on top and then do what you do, whip it good and eat that. And that's very good. I don't like the really teeny tiny like nutfetti. I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, I don't mind it. I like a dusting. You know what I mean? I like it when a topping can be made very small. Finely chopped peanuts. I like wet nuts. You ever do wet nuts? That's the walnuts in that syrup.
What are you trying to do to me, man? The walnuts in the syrup? Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Let's talk about your wet nuts, Hal.
Nope. We're fine. You know what? Manscaped's not sponsoring us anymore. We're not going to talk about that. I've not had that. I mean, I like a candied walnut, like a candied peanut, candied walnut. Something I can't do cashews anymore because the last time I had them, I got food poisoning, so I will never eat them again. Sadly.
Yeah. I love cashews.
They're great. I love them too. Yeah. I did, but now I can't do it. Can't hack it anymore.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I think when those little shards of whatever the nut, like I'd rather have like a whole
like sliver, like shard almonds.
I don't like shard almonds I don't think they're as good for you as people say they are. I think they're just as bad as they are good. And I would rather have them savory. I would rather have like the wasabi and soy from Blue Diamond or whatever.
Sure.
I don't want them on ice cream. Peanuts, I like. Walnuts are good. They're very hearty. Pecans, I'd rather have in a pie.
Fair.
So I think like the ideal version of a nut is not on top of the ice cream. So when I see it there, I'm like, oh, I'd rather have you later.
Yeah. In savory form.
Yes.
What about sprinkles? We mentioned sprinkles before. Also, real quick about sprinkles. Have you ever heard of hagelslag, which is Dutch, or fairy bread, which is Australian? Do you know about this?
Fairy bread I have heard of.
Same thing. The Dutch name for it is hagelslag. For those who don't know, it is just a piece of bread with butter and sprinkles on top.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. Magic.
I feel like a lot of people learned about it during the pandemic because a bunch of Australians are like, then we call this fairy bread. We take the bread,
was that a pandemic thing?
Put sprinkles on there. Well, it was it wasn't created for the pandemic. It existed before then, but we were all at home and we were looking at things like TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden everybody's home sharing stuff. And in some ways we were more connected than we've ever been globally.
Sure.
But obviously in our individual communities, we were more separated. I find that very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
I kind of miss not that I don't miss the pandemic, obviously, but I do miss some of the hey, the whole world is going to learn this dance.
Yes. The good news is COVID's still out there, so you can get sick and stay at home and watch dances if you want.
That's true.
But that was a very specific time where everybody had to be home. Had to be away. So that was where I first got turned on to it. I was like, this seems great. I love sprinkles. To me, sprinkles, I think, are the winner. That's the one I'm willing to go to bat for because it works. Its sole purpose on this earth is to be on top of things.
Yeah, I just don't know what I get from it. That's my only thing about it is unless it's just specifically the brown ones that are chocolate flavored.
I don't care what kind they are. If they're chocolate or rainbow, that's fine with me. Sprinkles in general.
But there's not a flavor to them. That's the thing that I'm missing.
There is a sweet.
It's just sugar. The flavor is just sugar.
There is a sweetness to them that is different than the sweetness you get from the ice cream. So that's that. Fair. They also hold up in the cold without freezing and becoming hard. Yeah. So they give you texture throughout their lives. They can dissolve, but it takes a lot. So they will live on for quite some time. Yeah. They stick extremely well. All right. What do you want to throw out?
I want to throw one out there that I think is my number one that I'm going to throw in there. And that is the Oreo, because the Oreo, I mentioned before that I like a topping that can be the star. I also like a topping that can fade into the background and just uplift the ice cream that it is on top of. And I think the Oreo, depending on how large it is chopped up,
right?
You can have a Oreo that's been quartered, and that Oreo is going to be the star. You can have an Oreo that's been pulverized to dust, and that's going to be an accompaniment that elevates the whole thing. It's also easy to mix it in with the rest of the ice cream so that it becomes, and yes, I realize there is cookies and cream ice cream already. There are ice creams that have Oreo cookie inside them. But I like the idea that I can be the one that handles the ratio of Oreo to non-Oreo. And I can, in the course of eating an ice cream with Oreo on top, it can go from being the star. I can chop it up, and then it can become the supporting player in this particular drama. That's why for me, I think, and Oreo has a specific flavor. I was thinking about this. Because I like sprinkles. I think that they don't have as distinct a flavor to me as Oreo. So they add a lot in texture, but I think I can get that texture or a unique texture via Oreos. It's not going to be the same texture. I can get in a unique texture and also a little flavor boost. But if it wants to be the star, it can also be the star.
I think, and I like Oreos very, very, very much, that they are flavor dominant, especially when you put them on top. They also get soft right away, so you lose that texture pretty quick. Like, you got to eat it pretty quick, and then it's like you eat your Oreos first, and then you have the ice cream. You're forced to do that with a lot of these toppings because they are on top. But for the Oreo, like, if you want to just enjoy Oreos with a little bit of ice cream, you got to speed this along. Even when it's inside ice cream, it's more like, this isn't going to hold up. You're going to get the flavor of, it's as if you've already dunked it in milk and then spread it across your tongue.
Right. It doesn't, the texture wise, it doesn't hold up for as long as sprinkles do. But that doesn't bother me because once it's broken up enough into that powder form, I'm not really going for the crispy anyway. You know what I mean? The first couple of bites, I'll have a little crispy to it, but then it will blend in, and I'll just get that sort of nice texture addition to it. It doesn't need to be crispy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think part of where I'm sticking with this also is that, to me, like, the best topping is almost doing extra work. Like, it would be, the ice cream would be.
Oh, it's not a support player. It's a background player.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. It would feel empty without it. It feels sort of barren. If you take all the extras out of a scene, they're integral to scenes, which I say partially because I've done extra work, and partially because,
me too.
And when you've done it, and just watching anything on television film, you know how important it is. But very rarely, unless they're mugging, is an extra the star. And I think you want your topping to be the Robin to your Batman.
That's my question.
Superman to your Batman. Oreo is Superman and Batman. They work really well together, but I think that you don't know who has top billing.
I think that Oreo can be Superman to the Batman.
Right.
I think that Oreo, all it takes is a couple taps with my spoon, and suddenly Oreo becomes Robin to the Batman. I'm not certain that I want the star to be innocent bystander in the background to my Batman.
It's not supposed to be the star. It's supposed to be there. It's filling it in. It's filling it in. It's providing some texture. It does provide a little extra flavor, but not too much. The ice cream is always number one.
Mm-hmm.
And the more stuff that you pack on top, as a Sunday fan, the more stuff you pack on top, you're just really like, I just want all the flavors. Whatever I get, sometimes it's going to be a little bit more ice cream. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit more cookies or candy or whatever it is. That's a fun experience. But to me, the best topping is the one that always complements and never overshadows. And it's weird. I think there are like birthday cake type ice creams that have sprinkles inside of them, and it's always weird. Like, you should be on the outside. You are a topping. You don't belong inside. It doesn't work as well inside of ice cream. Not at all.
The topic is topping, not mix in.
And also, I'll give you another one, and this is ice cream topping, but just something I find interesting is one of my favorite at the Country Club Diner in Northeast Philadelphia, where we would go many times when I was a kid. They have a huge bakery. Like, they are a huge bakery with a diner around it. And they always had these really good shortbread cookies. And one great version of the shortbread cookie had a candied cherry on top. And so I would eat around the cherry until I had cherry cookie, and then eat
until you had a very tiny cookie with a cherry on top that was the exact diameter of the cookie underneath.
100%. Yep. You get it. 100%.
I get you.
The other was covered in rainbow sprinkles or chocolate sprinkles and was so good. Like, even in the cookie, it's like, well, mainly it's about the cookie, but this is providing a little bit more flavor and a little bit extra texture because here it's softer. So just like, it does its job. Wherever you put it, it does its job.
All right.
But with ice cream specifically, I think it is, was it made for ice cream? You did a little bit of research on this, or did you only look into why is it called Jimmy's?
No, I looked into it. It was a confection that was invented, and I'm not sure if people just began by eating them by the handful, but this company, the Just Born Candy Company, which also makes Mike and Ike's and Peeps. That's the other big thing that has come out of that company. Yeah. Couple of real hits came out of this, but yeah, they made the Jimmy. So I will throw this at you, Hal.
Yeah.
Using your logic of it's something that enhances, that is, it's doing its best work when it is fulfilling its primary function, which is this ice cream topping function. I think coming out of bits, I will concede that sprinkles as defined as a topping, because Oreos are also great as a mix-in and sprinkles are not. And if we are setting it specifically to toppings, I think that sprinkles have the edge on that. But I think our ultimate winner is not from the bits category. It's not from the candy category, and it's not from the fruit category. Our best topping is the first topping, and it's that chocolate syrup from Hershey, Pennsylvania. That chocolate syrup that I put on mine as a kid, that every kid I knew had in their fridge, that you could get when you went to the ice cream parlor, that I had in my fridge growing up, that you had in your fridge growing up, that when I would whip up my ice cream, it would turn it into the chocolate frosty that I wanted, or it could just sit there on top of the ice cream and do its primary job of enhancing what I'm having. And I think for me, the big thing about it that puts it over the top over Heath, the nothing that came out of the fruit category. You know what? It doesn't put it over Heath, but it puts it over our real two finalists, which I think are chocolate syrup and sprinkles, is that to me, sprinkles just have no flavor. They are simply texture. The flavor of them is just sugar to me. I like a little bit of flavor in my topping. And I think that the best topping is going to enhance, but it's going to enhance because it's going to change the flavor of the ice cream in some way. It's not just going to add a texture. It's going to add, whether it's on strawberry ice cream, whether it's on vanilla ice cream. I think there's so many different ice creams that chocolate syrup can go on top of. And on top of that, I think it was the OG. I think I have to go with chocolate syrup as the best ice cream topping.
Let me ask you.
I love you, brother. I do not think that it is sprinkles.
Do you think that there are flavors of ice cream, and I don't have an answer for this, I'm just sort of thinking it through, on which you would not want chocolate?
Sure.
So then there is a segment of the ice cream population on which chocolate syrup just doesn't work.
There is a segment of the ice cream population on which sprinkles does not work either.
Which ones?
I don't think I'm going to put sprinkles on butter pecan.
Why not?
Because there's already texture in butter pecan. I think anything that's already got texture in it, an ice cream that has mix-ins already, sprinkles are superfluous.
Is this one of those where you're going to dig in and you won't change your mind?
I think so.
Is that what this is? So I have to roll over because I like both of them, but you only like one.
Yeah.
So yours has to win.
Yeah.
You don't feel weird about that at all?
Nope.
You feel like you'll just take that as a victory?
Yep. No, it's not a victory. I'm trying to figure it out, honestly.
Sprinkles do have a flavor.
I don't think they have a flavor,
very much.
Yeah, I guess for me, I would have to eat a spoonful of nothing but chocolate sprinkles to taste anything. If I had a spoonful of just regular sprinkles, like rainbow sprinkles, it would taste like I was just eating a spoonful of sugar. Now, it's great for medicine going down. It's not great, I think, for it being the best topping. I don't think it's the best topping.
All right.
I already conceded on Oreos. You got the double. You got the double. You got the double. No, you did not prove. You got the W in the bits category.
Your honors.
But we both get the W. Hal, are you going to betray Pennsylvania? Are you going to betray Pennsylvania?
I could never betray Pennsylvania. I am Pennsylvania. As I go, so does Pennsylvania go. People of the world, you see how he tried? You see what he did? I was bullied. I just want to point that out.
I was bullied into Jimmy's over Oreos.
I got bullied. I proved empirically.
You did not prove empirically.
That Oreos were inferior to sprinkles as a topping. As a topping.
Sure.
But now the winner, see, look, now I'm being teased. This is harassment. I'm reporting you to HR.
Oh, we don't have an HR. Our HR is just Ken.
Oh, forget it then.
Ken.
No, don't call him. You can have your Hershey syrup. It's great. It's so good. Temperature wise, you can heat it up. Room temperature. Very good. Ken says we're both wrong. I can't wait till this episode is over and he tells us a wronger answer.
Yeah.
That he will never admit is wrong. But in this case, and now I'm going to enjoy it, the best ice cream topping is Hershey's chocolate syrup.
We did it.
Asked
Good
and
job,
answered.
buddy. Ken,
Yeah.
you are so, Ken says it's sour cream. That's for a baked potato.
He could be serious. For all we know, he could be serious.
Maybe. Who knows? He could be.
Yeah.
This topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com or
find us on all the socials at We Got This Podcast, except for Instagram where we are We Got This Show. Of course, the Facebook group where it's all going down is facebook.com/group/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, to researcher Kate McManus, to graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba, soon to be wed.
Hey, congratulations. And thanks to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively, already wed, not to each other. And thank you to you, the people of the world, with whom we would love to walk along the Atlantic City boardwalk, pop into an ice cream shop, and just get all of those delicious toppings and go outside and try to eat it real quick before it melts. You're the reason we do this. We wouldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without you. And to you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows supported
directly
by you.